Hello and welcome. My name is Alyssa and this is Into the Heart Wild. And today I'm bringing you guys another book tag. This is called the book design tag. So it's going to be all about covers and all that fun stuff. One of my favorite things. So let's go ahead and let's jump right into this. Question number 1. A book you bought primarily or completely because of the cover. So for this one, I am actually going to go with Kings of the Wild by Nicholas Ames. This is actually the book that brought me back into reading maybe about 8 years ago when I had split from my daughter's father and I hadn't been reading. I was scrolling through Instagram and a picture of this book popped up because a girl had just finished reading it. She had it with her pet tarantula. And the pet tarantula was like sitting on the book and everything. And she was like, this book is amazing. I love everything about it. And she didn't really give like a review or anything. She was just like, this is what I've been reading and I loved it. And I took one look at the cover and I was like, I'm in love. I need to go find that book. And the next day I went to the bookstore, found it, bought it, took it home, read it, fell in love with it. It's now one of my favorite books of all time. But it was all just purely based on a picture of the cover. So question number 2, a book you want to buy that has a beautiful cover. So this is one, this is a book from Folio Society that if I was to ever get this, I would be probably both in tears and be ecstatic, but it is the Peter Rabbit collection by Beatrix Potter that they did. It comes with letters, the book itself, the original prototype for the book, the Beatrix's version of how she originally wrote the book, a glacé image of Peter in his little jacket, and so many other fun little things. It is a almost $600 set. I might actually be like I think it's like 550, so like almost 600. No, I think it's like 450. It's between like 500 and 600, okay? Like it's a pretty penny. But Peter Rabbit is one of my absolute favorite childhood stories, and I still have my original Beatrix Potter collection that my mother gave me when I was little. And when I seen Folio Society had this beautiful set, I was like, oh my god, if I was to own that, that would just my heart. So that's my pick for that one. Question number 3, your favorite series design. So this one, I'm actually going to go with one that was recently reprinted, and it's because I like the idea that they did behind it. So it's The Dandelion Dynasty by Ken Liu. And while, yes, when you look at, the sprayed edges, they create an image. Give me a second. They're really heavy because they're all like monstrously huge. So when you look at the sprayed edges, they create a beautiful image and you're like, oh my god, that's so smart. But wait, it gets better. When you lay out the books cover-wise, they create an image. And I love that. I love that. I will do a cutaway to show you guys the full completed picture if you guys have not seen it, because obviously I cannot hold up 4 books on my own. So there will be a little cutaway image here. But yes, I love the thought and the process and the idea that went into the design of this as an entire set, because I think it is fantastic. Question number 4, a book with a beautiful dust jacket or something unexpected under the jacket. So for this one, I actually went with my copy of The Second Sight of Zachary Cloudsley by Sean Lusk. Now, I haven't read this yet, but as we can see, it's got a beautiful cover. You've got all of these scenes in these corners here. And that's really pretty and stuff. And when you look at it from far away, you're like, wow, that's really pretty. But, and I didn't know they were doing this, when you take the dust jacket off, you get the same thing, only they're gears. There's gears. And it has to do with because it does have some like it deals with clockwork and stuff, because I believe the main character, he's the son of a clockmaker, I believe. So I just thought it was really cool how I had that, but also like it's really pretty when you look at it without the dust jacket, and you get two completely different vibes from it. And then I want to show off the gears. So I think it's very interesting. Like that, I haven't read it yet. It is I got it around December-ish, I want to say. So it is still fairly new to my collection, but that is my pick. Question number 5. A naked hardback, a gorgeous book with no dust jacket. And for this, I'm going to go with my Barnes & Noble leather-bound edition of Robin Hood by Howard Pyle. So not only, like, first of all, this shade of green, fantastic. If you don't know this, my favorite color is green, okay? So, I love when green is used for covers. It's not used enough. I'm going to tell you guys that right now. But this shade of green, this is my favorite shade of green. So aside from just having like the word Robin Hood look like it's written in tree trunks and such, you get like the arrows in the background, you get the bullseye, you get like the classic little border with the little bow and arrow and everything. And then you turn to the back and you get trees. And there's a quote, and I love that. And the quote says, "In merry England in the time of old, there lived within the green glades of Sherwood Forest, near Nottingham town, a famous outlaw whose name was Robin Hood." And I love it. And I love it. Like, you look at it and there's no, like, you're not disappointed with this at all. Like, these Barnes & Noble leather bounds that they did are fantastic, and I love them so much. Question 6, a beautiful paperback. Now, fun fact here, I don't like paperbacks, okay? I don't. I prefer hardbacks, so a majority of my collection is hardback. And other fun fact, I only tend to buy books that I think have beautiful covers, so yeah. But anyways, I do have a paperback that I think has a beautiful cover, and it was actually one that my grandparents got me recently. And that would be Daughter of the Moon Goddess by Su Lin Tan. Like, it's just gorgeous, okay? It is. It's, I have to say, it's probably the prettiest paperback that I do own. And like I said, I don't own a lot of paperbacks because I don't like paperbacks. But this one, definitely. It's a beauty. So question 7 was originally a nonfiction book with a lovely cover. I don't read nonfiction, so I don't own nonfiction. So I took a liberty and I changed the category for this into one of the other categories that I do read, and that would be middle grade. So the question for me is a middle grade book with a lovely cover. And for that one, I'm going with Oddity by Eli Brown. This is one of, I own maybe 100 middle grade books, and this one, doesn't matter who's here, where they're from, when they look at that spine, they go, "What is that?" And they pull it out on the shelf and they're like, "This is so freaking pretty." And I'm like, "I know, right? Like, that's why I bought it. Like, I haven't read it yet, but it's so pretty." And it's just, between the colors of the browns, the little imagery that's here, this snake wrapping around the character, just, you look at it and you're just like, that is really pretty. And then obviously like the gold reflecting off of all the words everywhere. And they even made sure to continue doing the little border around there. Like, so pretty. Question number 8, a book with great end papers. So surprisingly, a lot of the books I own don't really have end paper designs unless it's a map, which is fine because a lot of those maps are really pretty. But I actually was able to find one where it has like a nice little scenic picture, and I was like, oh yeah, I remember that. I like it. It's just been a while since I've opened the book. But that would be the Illumicrate special edition of The Last Wish. I'm not going to attempt his name. We all know his name. And I'm not going to butcher it on camera because that's rude. But when you open it, like, that is... It's so atmospheric. Like, you look at it and you're just like, it looks cold, it looks dark, it looks scary, like, but it also looks mysterious. Like, I want to know what's going on in there. And I really like that. Like, I like that it's just like a whole picture, and it's not like, it's giving something, and I like it. And it is it's on both sides. So that is my pick for that one. And then question number 9, and the last question, spine. A book that looks just as good spine out as it does face out. Now, in all reality, I don't really care how the spine looks. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I don't really care. I think for the most part, a lot of spines are very boring looking. I just want to be able to read the title. So like if your title is this small and everything else is huge, I don't like your spine. So the bigger the font, the better. But I actually did end up going with the American, the US version of the special edition for Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. So when you look at the spine this way, you're like, oh, that's pretty. That's pretty. But then you realize it's a slipcase, okay? So the book has a second spine, and it's so pretty. I was holding it upside down, I'm sorry guys. But it's so pretty. Cause like the contrast, like when you have it together, you're like, the white border with the black and the gold, like how pretty. But then when you take it out of the slipcase, you're like, oh, that's pretty. That's pretty. Like if I was to display that, that's pretty. But then also if I want to keep it in the slipcase, like look at that. In that. Like what is really? It's nice. That's nice. But I do have to say, if I'm going based off of just the spine, this is probably my favorite spine on my entire bookcase as someone who just doesn't care about spines. Like I don't put a lot of thought into the spine of a book. I really don't. So that is all of my answers for this fun little tag. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you guys liked it and everything, leave your comments below, like the video, subscribe, all of that good stuff, and I will see you next time. Bye!